Well, it's on its side now. I've been tapping away, banging away. Who doesn't enjoy a good bang now and again, huh? Well, here we go. So, a lot of it has come off. It's still on its side. Some places you can see where it's come off more than others. So this has exposed, come back a bit, this has exposed the paint. That probably shows it better. So the glue was too thin there, too dilute. So that's places that need to have a little more of a covering on. That's fine because I've got all this spare foam on the floor to sweep up. So that's all good. So we can make a start on that. Generally speaking, that's looking fairly good. And I'll be able to finish that off tomorrow. I'm going to actually lean it against the radiator to dry properly once I've swept all this up. So I recovered 2/3 of a tub full of ground foam, and this is the current end result. So I'm going to put down some more, there's a bare patch there, I'm going to put down some more PVA now, very bare patch there, and leave that to dry overnight. So you can see it's worth doing that, but even where it's quite bare, there's a little bit on there, so the texture's broken up. But I think that's looking alright now, and then once the buildings are on, that'll make it look better. Certainly looks better than it did just painted anyway. So there we go, very watered down PVA. Fill in the gaps on the lighter bits, and then shaker, 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 cooler shaker. Shaking all over, and then hopefully that will bed in nicely, so my second layer will be sufficient. Who knows, who knows, maybe some more will drop off when I bang it tomorrow, but if it does, that will again be reapplied, and then I'll do one final lot of PVA over the lot to seal it all in. Could use hairspray on it. That's the usual advice. You could also use a bit of spray lacquer from the car shop, which will be a firmer, better grip. Might not look right, but could potentially stick better. I've got some, I haven't tried it yet. Oh look, here we go, this is a bit gappy. Like my daughter's front teeth were when she was 7 or 8. There you go. So it's very, very thin now with a 50-50 dilution and some washing up liquid to break up the surface tension. So that means it runs nice and soaks in. And of course, it's not soaking in just on plywood or paper mache now. A little bit there. It's soaking in on the ground foam that constitutes my grass. So it's got plenty to actually stick to and bed into. So of course this is the stuff that I've recycled from what I tapped off onto the floor earlier, which is why it's always worth making sure that you sweep the floor first, and then if you want you can hoover it as well, as long as you've cleaned the hoover out. Okay, so that's it. So that full tub, or 2/3 full tub, is now empty. I've used up half a bottle of PVA, and I've got a quarter left of the mix of the two. Very effective. So let's let that dry off. Soak in, dry off. Job's a good one. Tomorrow I'll come over here and I shall start putting the buildings on and see how it looks once I've kind of like brushed everything up. Because again, I've got some more bits on the floor, as you can see, which will need sweeping up. I've tapped off the second layer of blue stuff and it's looking good. So I've got some build up where I've got thicker greenery on there. That almost looks like heather or rough terrain like that. So it's looking good. It's mostly dried. That bit there hasn't dried yet, but most of it has, and it's quite nice. It's looking really good. I've put sort of like brownish wash, very dilute brownish wash over my tarmac areas because they look a bit too grey, and I've put a brownish wash with some heavier, thicker brown around the edges there. This is all looking really good, so I'm pleased. What I'm going to do now, it's not complete, okay, what I'm going to do now is put all my buildings on so that we can visualise that. It's not ready to have the buildings sort of like put on permanently. I've still got to clean down the track, okay, because obviously there's PVA and paint and what have you splashed onto it. I've got to pick out bits of ballast that have shifted and will cause problems. So if we can, there's a fair bit there, stuff that's flicked up higher. Some of it is on the outside of the rails, some on the inside, like there for example, down there, look. So I'll have to flick that out of the way, and here is particularly bad, just so that things run smoothly and nicely. I've got to clean up, so I've got obviously a load of greenery there that needs to be scraped off, got rid of. But yeah, so once I do the cleaning up, that'll be ready. But I'm going to put the stuff on now so that we can visualize things and see how it looks as it all dries off completely.